It's 1:57 in the morning. The house is silent, so that's not the problem. You're physically exhausted. You can feel it in your body. It's like lead. But your brain is running a never-ending sprint. You're replaying a conversation you wish went a different way from way back in high school, while you're simultaneously worrying about AI taking your job next year. Most people think insomnia is a problem with your nighttime. But in my experience, I've seen that for the ADHD brain, insomnia is actually a problem with your morning. Let me explain. It sounds counterintuitive, but the reality is that you are not staying awake because of a lack of discipline in the evening in most cases. You're simply navigating a biological misalignment that's not your fault. I'm Dr. David Danish, a double board certified psychiatrist, and I've treated tens of thousands of patients with ADHD-related sleep struggles. Today, we're going to fix this. I'm going to explain exactly why your brain gets loud when the room gets quiet. And later, I want to teach you about something called the photon shower. It's a technique with a very cool name that helps you stabilize your internal clock before you even eat breakfast. To understand why you can't sleep, we have to look at the conflict inside your head between what I call the CEO and the daydreamer. Scientifically, these two specific brain networks that are supposed to take turns from each other are not. First, you have the task positive network. This is your CEO side of the brain, the mode that focuses and gets things done. Then you have the default mode network. This is your daydreamer, the mode responsible for wandering thoughts and creativity. In a brain without ADHD, these two sides act like a perfect seesaw. When the CEO clocks in, the daydreamer checks out. But in the ADHD brain, that switch is sticky. The daydreamer often fails to shut down even when you're trying to fall asleep, because the CEO, responsible for regulation of your whole brain, is often underactive, underpowered. So the daydreamer runs wild without supervision. This is why the moment the external world gets quiet, your internal world, that internal narrative, becomes deafening. And why is it that this daydreamer has to pick the worst memories or biggest fears of the future? But this sticky switch in the ADHD brain is only half the battle. In my experience, most ADHD patients do not have traditional insomnia. They have something called delayed sleep phase syndrome. The term sounds a little complex, but it essentially means your internal clock is permanently set to a different time zone than the rest of the world. A pivotal study found that roughly 75% of adults with ADHD have this circadian misalignment. This validates that your struggle is biological, not behavioral, not your fault because you're making bad decisions all the time. Biologically, your body produces melatonin, the sleep hormone, about 2 hours later than the person without ADHD. So when the clock on the wall says 10 p.m., let's say, your biology is convinced it's actually only 8 p.m. You're essentially living with permanent social jet lag. If you live on the East Coast, it's as if you should be living in Montana. And here's where some patients or parents of ADHD kids ask, but doctor, why the heck then would we add a medicine called a stimulant to this perfect storm you're describing? Definitely a good, rational question. But the nuance here is that the untreated ADHD brain often causes more sleep disruption than the treated ADHD brain. So a brain starving for dopamine, such as occurs in ADHD, creates its own noise to stay entertained. But by stabilizing that dopamine floor during the day with a medication, we often see the brain is calmer at night. So now you know why this happens, so how the heck do we address it? First, we need to stop treating this like a discipline problem and start treating it like a hardware issue. The fix is what I call the photon shower. Because your biological clock is naturally delayed, you cannot force yourself to sleep early. It's impossible. Instead, you must anchor your rhythm to the morning. The nuance people miss is that sleep actually starts when you wake up, not when you're laying down to sleep. So, when light hits your retina, it signals something called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, your brain's master clock, to immediately stop producing melatonin and start a countdown timer for 12 to 14 hours later. In other words, and here's the most important message of this video, so listen up, if you want to fall asleep earlier tonight, you must see light earlier in the morning. You have to manually pull that timer backward. So, within 30 minutes of waking up, you need bright light coming through your eyes. Ideally, this is 10 to 20 minutes of sunlight, outside. If you wake up before the sun or live in a gray climate like I do during the winter, use a 10,000 lux light therapy lamp instead. This resets the countdown so that your body naturally feels tired when you want it to, not when it accidentally runs out of fuel 3 to 4 hours later than it should. Okay, this was a very dense video and there's a lot to track. So I've created a specific tool to help you. It's called the Circadian Reset Protocol, and it's available for free right now in my Mind Vault at drdaviddanish.com, and that link is in the description. So this includes the exact 14-day schedule to shift your clock, because big changes like this take a good 14 days to really set in, as well as a guide to cool down that annoying daydreamer brain at night, that one that's just nagging you about your past or your future. If you remember one thing, let it be this: you are not broken because you cannot sleep like your neighbor. You simply have a high-performance engine that requires a specific shutdown sequence. Respect your biology. Check out my free protocol, and let's finally get the rest you deserve.